Some breaking news right now at 6 a.m. A deadly accident on the Eisenhower causing a major backup at this hour. Sky 5 is live over the scene.
Also breaking, the Minnesota dentist who killed Cecil the Lion may stand trial in Africa as international outrage continues to grow. And an ugly rant at Oak Street Beach. A white woman throws racial slurs at an African-American family, and it's all captured on camera. Hi, everybody. Good morning. It's 6. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Stephen Holt.
And I'm Michelle Rutherford in for Zoraida Samblin this morning. It is Friday, July 31st, the last day of July. I'm almost sad to see it go. It's been so nice. Let's find out if the trend is going to continue. Starting things out with Storm Team meteorologist Andy Avalos.
Looks like we'll close out the month of July on a high note. It is exactly 6 o'clock, and as you head out the door, it is a beautiful beginning to the day. Area-wide, lots of blue skies. The sun is up, shining brightly already. There's just a scattered cloud here and there. I am tracking a little cluster of thunderstorms well northwest of the metro area over towards Janesville and Beloit up in Wisconsin. We'll keep an eye on those through the morning hours, but for us, it's off to a great start now. Get ready for another windy and warm day. It'll be quite warm, but the humidity remains low. Wear those light summer clothes. Grab the sunglasses and sunscreen. Temperatures in the 60s in our inland locations, but still low 70s downtown. Here's Marley.
Good morning, Andy. The outbound Eisenhower remains closed after an earlier fatal accident that took the life of one person in the vehicle and sent 5 others to the hospital. I want to give you a live look outside. Sky 5 is over this crash, showing you the aftermath. IDOT telling us this will remain blocked for at least the next hour as they work to clear the debris and investigate exactly what happened here. But it has turned the outbound Ike into a parking lot with delays going back to Sacramento. On the inbound trip, that Gapers delay you're looking at between Central and Cicero. Avoid the Eisenhower at all costs. Your alternates are Jackson and Roosevelt. We'll have another in-depth look at this crash and check in with Sky 5 coming up. Stefan?
Marley Caden, thank you very much. Let's get to some breaking news this morning at 6. Zimbabwe's wildlife minister wants a Minneapolis dentist, Walter Palmer, extradited to Zimbabwe to face charges for killing Cecil the lion. Speaking a short time ago at a news conference, the minister said he wants Palmer to stand trial because he, quote, violated our laws. On Tuesday, Palmer issued a statement saying he relied on his guides to ensure that the hunt was legal. Palmer remains in hiding as there is international outrage over the killing. Coming up at 6:45, NBC's Kevin Tibbles will join us live with more on this controversy. And right now, back here closer to home, a suburban family can't believe their experience at Oak Street Beach. It happened this week.
And it all started with a splash of water, quickly escalating into an ugly racial rant. NBC5's Lauren Petty is live on the lakefront with more on this story. Lauren.
Well, Raquel Bolton tells us when her young children accidentally splashed a white woman who was sitting by the water's edge, the woman went on a racist rant. And when that woman started using the N-word, Bolton started recording.
That you could just walk around calling somebody a
yes,
and
it's called free speech in America. Right to free speech. Look it up.
Prejudice and racism is still alive in 2015. And it's a shame that we are being judged for the color of our skin still.
Now, minutes before that cell phone video was taken, Raquel Bolton took this photo, and it shows the woman sitting right near the water where Bolton's kids, ages 8 and 4, were playing, and where the woman started yelling when she was splashed. Well, Bolton's sister-in-law says the confrontation actually continued in the beach bathroom where the woman used the N-word again.
I was in shock. I'm like, how you get into, people argue all the time, but how is that the first thing that comes to your mind?
Well, Bolton posted that video to Facebook where it has now gone viral, and despite the ugly confrontation, the family says it will not stop them from coming back to Oak Street Beach again. Back to you.
NBC5's Lauren Petty, thank you very much. Now to some breaking news overnight. A Chicago police officer is injured during a shoplifting investigation. It all unfolded in the parking lot at the Jewel supermarket. This is at 12th and Wabash in the South Loop. Happened around 11 last night. Police arrested a shoplifting suspect, but somehow that suspect got away. The officer chased him and fell. He was taken by ambulance to a local hospital. There's no word on his condition. The suspect was later caught.
New this morning, the wife of a CEO murdered inside a Loop high-rise last year has filed a lawsuit against the killer's estate. In July 2014, police say Anthony DeFrancis shot Stephen Lavoie inside the Bank of America building on LaSalle Street. He then took his own life. Officers say DeFrancis had been demoted from his position just a week earlier. Lavoie passed away a few months later. Well, the Chicago Tribune reports his wife, Jody Lavoie, has now filed a wrongful death lawsuit against DeFrancis' estate.
A bomb and arson unit responded to President Obama's Kenwood neighborhood home after someone left a suspicious backpack nearby. This was found yesterday morning in the 5000 block of South Greenwood. Officers were able to determine that the bag was not a threat. Detectives also questioned one person of interest.
Cook County workers could benefit from that recent sales tax hike. Crane Chicago Business reports the president of the Board of Commissioners wants to give pay raises of up to 6.5% to county employees. The county's tax hike brought Chicago's sales tax to more than 10%, among the highest in the nation.
This morning, we know which Chicago public schools will be impacted by an effort to save money. CPS has changed the bell schedules for 82 high schools and elementary schools, trying to save on transportation costs. The idea is to stagger schedules so that school bus drivers can make several different runs. It's supposed to save more than $13 million in transportation costs. For a full list of the schools, just go to NBCChicago.com, search CPS schedules, or you can also download the NBC Chicago app.
All right, get ready. Can you feel the excitement yet? Just about 5 hours left. The gates are going to open for Lollapalooza 2015.
Oh, no one more excited than NBC5's Kai Martin. Already at Grant Park, she has more on what we can expect for day one. Hey, Kai.
Hey, Stefan and Michelle, as you mentioned, the gates open at 11 here for this sold-out 3-day music extravaganza here in our beautiful city. I just want you guys to take a look at this. The sun has come up. Oh my gosh, it's just beautiful out here. And of course, this will be flooded with 300,000 people over the next 3 days. McCartney is the big act playing tonight, as we have some video of that. But you know what? Even if you're not coming down here, you can actually live stream everything Lollapalooza has to offer from their website, including McCartney. So that's a great tip if you just want to stay home and see all the festival has to offer. It looks like we are going to get our band here. Hey guys, we were a little worried. Did you sleep? Or no? Come on over here. All right, this is the New Pacific. They are from Los Angeles. I understand someone has Midwest roots here. Who's that?
This guy.
Where are you from?
Des Moines, Iowa.
Adel,
Iowa.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm from Lansing, Michigan as well. So absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys played today, correct? At around 1:50. Is this your first Lolla gig?
The very first Lolla gig. We're at 110 on BMI stage.
110, BMI.
Yep, cannot be more excited.
So as a musician, I know you guys play big cities and you're really gaining traction, but what does Lollapalooza do for a band like yourselves?
I mean, it's a big festival. We're all excited to be here. It has such a historic place. A lot of us have been to the festival but never played, so it's really exciting to get out there and see how it all is.
Really quickly, favorite part of Chicago? What's the best part of this city?
Ooh, what's that place you're telling us to eat at? All About the Beef, I think it's called.
All About the Beef. See, it all comes back to beef here in Chicago. That is the latest from Lolla. Check these guys out. They have no sleep. I have no sleep. We're going to go rock on, and I'll see you in a couple minutes for my top tips for getting around the festival. Back to you guys.
Italian beef for breakfast for everyone. Lightly dipped sweet peppers.
Well, I can assure you of this, there will be no beef when it comes to the forecast.
No. None at all.
Not at all.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the weekend gets off to a great start on this Friday morning. It's 7 minutes after 6 o'clock, and really the proof is in the picture. Oh, look, there go the geese. They're taking the sunshine in this morning as well as they fly over Streamwood, northwest of downtown Chicago. Looks like this area wide, but for a scattered cloud here and there. I'm tracking one little cluster of thunderstorms to the far northwest of us, northwest of Rockford. I expect those to fade away. There'll be a few scattered clouds moving in later this morning, but for now, what a beautiful beginning. 60 degrees in Aurora, 67 officially at O'Hare, still low 70s along the lakefront downtown. In northwest Indiana, still in the mid-60s as well. The wind is lighter in the single digits out of the west, but like yesterday, when we get some daytime heating, the wind will start to pick up. We'll mix in some drier air, so our dew points will stay low today, but the winds will be gusting from 25 to 28 miles an hour later this afternoon and this evening. But once again, it's a west wind pushing the warmth all the way to the lakefront, so you'll enjoy the warmth along the lakefront at the beaches and downtown. Wind eventually fades away later this evening. But heading out the door this morning, grab those sunglasses. Lots of sunshine through the day, just a few puffy clouds. It'll be windy and quite warm, but remember, humidity remains low. We'll climb into the mid to upper 80s. Here's Marley.
Thanks, Andy. The CTA felt left out with all the traffic issues we've been having this morning. So now Forest Park Blue Line trains are running with some delays. They had a mechanical issue in Rosemont, so do allow about 15 extra minutes if you are taking the Blue Line. But our biggest issue this morning, I do want to head right up to Sky 5 and take a look at the Eisenhower, which remains closed after a fatal accident. Mike?
happened during the 4 o'clock hour where one person was killed and 5 seriously injured. They continue to investigate as the outbound Eisenhower is shut down here before Cicero. Traffic at a standstill, not moving from Western out to Cicero. Think about Roosevelt and Jackson as your alternate routes this morning. Marley.
Thanks so much, Mike. Now, the Eden's still looking good, though, this morning. Just 15 minutes both ways. The Kennedy, a similar story. An easy 17 if you're headed to or from O'Hare this morning. Now, here's the Ike. You see that zeroed out outbound time. That's because it's shut down. Jackson and Roosevelt are your alternates. The inbound 39 minutes because of Gapers delays. The Stevenson will take you 26 minutes if you're headed in from the Tri-State. 19 on the reverse. The Dan Ryan building with 22 minutes on the inbound because of a crash at 47th Street. Stefan and Michelle.
All right. Thank you very much, Marley. Coming up, a legendary TV actress faces a health scare.
And it appears there is crying in baseball. The Mets star caught on camera tearing up speaks out.
But first, there's new video showing a killer moments before he unleashed gunfire. Hear the 911 calls after the deadly rampage.
New this morning, one of the country's most well-known marching bands is under fire for a parody songbook. According to the Wall Street Journal, the book shared privately by members of the Ohio State Marching Band contained lyrics that make fun of Holocaust victims. An independent investigation of the marching band in 2014 revealed the existence of the song, but not the lyrics. Ohio State fired its marching band director last year. The man accused of gunning down 9 black churchgoers during a Bible study in Charleston faces a judge this morning. Dylan Roof is facing new federal charges, including 12 counts of committing a hate crime because authorities believe he was motivated by race. Roof could face the death penalty.
This morning, we're hearing chilling 911 tapes and seeing surveillance video from a deadly movie theater shooting in Louisiana. This is video from last week inside of the theater in Lafayette. You can actually see the alleged gunman, 59-year-old John Russell Hauser, calmly strolling into the theater. Minutes later, gunfire rang out and police rushed to the scene.
He's inside. He's in number 14. He is reloading. He has a weapon. We have an active shooter here.
All right, we got several more victims inside. Suspect is down. Suspect is down.
Police say Hauser killed 2 people and wounded 9 more before shooting himself. His motive remains unknown. A Royal Dutch Shell icebreaker is now headed for an Arctic drilling operation following a showdown with protesters yesterday. Demonstrators hung from the St. John Bridge in Portland, Oregon, so that the Fennica would not be able to pass through. That's the boat. They were also paddling kayaks in the water below. Authorities later forced the demonstrators to move, allowing the ship to leave. The group is protesting Arctic oil drilling. A dog owner begs CTA thieves to return his precious puppy.
And this morning, Lollapalooza weekend is here. Kai Mark's going to help you navigate around the big music festival. And he's on the mend. The message former President George H.W. Bush is sending his Twitter followers. We've been following breaking news all morning. A fatal accident on the Eisenhower has the outbound lane shut down. Let's check in with Mike Lorber in Sky 5. How are things going now, Mike? Looks like it's still a parking lot.
It is. It's still shut down here before Cicero Avenue, Michelle, as the investigation continues. You can see the state police vehicle moving next to that rolled over vehicle that is the center of this investigation. Horrible accident that happened during the 4 o'clock hour where 1 person was killed and 5 were seriously injured. Now you see another state trooper and an IDOT truck moving into position, so perhaps there will be some progress here soon. However, right now the outbound Eisenhower remains shut down just before Cicero. Traffic at an absolute standstill on the outbound Ike from Western out to Cicero. Inbound now we're getting Gapers delays most of the way from Manheim Road into Cicero. So either way you wish to travel, think about Roosevelt, although that's getting a little busy, and Jackson as your alternate routes this morning. We're live here over the Eisenhower, just around Cicero Avenue. I'm Mike Lorber in Sky 5.
Thanks so much, Mike. And if you are planning on taking Roosevelt as your alternate here, there is an accident at Michigan you will need to look out for, and there are more accidents popping up. On the inbound 57 right at Halstead, your right lane is blocked there, slowing traffic down to about 45 miles an hour. And I do want to remind everybody about these closures for Lollapalooza. Columbus, Jackson, Balbo, and Congress all have closures, and expect a lot of added traffic on Michigan and Lakeshore Drive. Once I'm done with my times and Andy gives you a look at your forecast, Kai will tell you exactly how to get there. But first, let's let's look at your drive times this morning. On the Edens, 15 minutes both ways, staying and easy right at your base time here. The Kennedy just building by a minute on the inbound. You're 18 minutes in from the airport, 17 on that reverse trip. The Ike, 42 minutes in from Route 53, zeroed on your outbound because it remains shut down because of that fatal accident. The Stevenson, 32 minutes in from the Tri-State to Lakeshore Drive, 19 on the outbound, and a good alternate for you if you were planning on taking the Ike this morning. On the Dan Ryan, 17 minutes up from 95th with the clearing of that crash at 47th, 14 minutes on your outbound trip. 57 is up to 21 minutes coming in from I-80 with that crash at Halstead, and the Ford is 14 minutes. Andy?
Well, likely to add to those drive times as we go through the next hour or so. The skies are clear, the sun is shining brightly, so there's likely to be inbound sunshine delays. But wow, is it a gorgeous start to the day as we look along the lakefront from the Adler Planetarium. Heading out the door, remember the old phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? So we won't. We'll leave it alone. Yesterday was a gorgeous day, and today will be as well. Plenty of sunshine, just a few puffy clouds, a gusty west wind, temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, and with low humidity, it'll be a very nice day once again. Heading out the door, it is extremely comfortable this morning, even though temperatures have cooled in some of our spots to the low 60s. We're going to warm steadily throughout the day. We had clear skies during the overnight hours. The wind died down. The air is very dry, so it cools efficiently, but it also warms very well. There's one little isolated cluster of storms you see here to the far north and west of us, but I expect these to fade away, so we'll get a few scatter clouds to move in, but really overall today a lot more blue skies and sunshine than we will have cloud cover. We're going to have that brisk west to northwest wind once again, which pushes the warmth to the lakefront, so even the 80-plus temperatures will be along the shoreline at the beaches and downtown as we head through the overnight hours. Quiet. Sunshine tomorrow morning gives way to a little more cloud cover late in the day, and I think no risk of rain until probably the overnight hours, so Saturday night into Sunday morning, likely to see a few showers and storms then, and then I think the risk for storms decreases as we go through the afternoon hours. But no matter how you look at it, the body of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be rain-free for Lollapalooza. Temperatures out the door this morning as comfortable as 73 downtown, but cooling to 60 in Aurora. Most of us scattered throughout the 60s, but we're going up from here. So mostly sunny and comfortable for now. Just a few puffy clouds as we go through the day. Otherwise, brilliant blue skies and sunshine. Mid to upper 80s. Again, even though it's going to be windy and warm, the humidity values will be low, so it'll feel just great. As we look ahead to the weekend forecast, again, I think the rain event will be mainly at Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then a chance again on Monday. But look at the cooling trend that's on the way for us next week. We'll call that refreshing. Well, the forecast is music to our ears, and I think that Kai's got the latest on Lollapalooza. Hi there.
Andy, all I have to say is thank you. Bless you. You are the guru of Chicago weather. You couldn't have ordered a nicer morning for the continued final touches of Lollapalooza. But the question is, how do you get here? How to get around this festival? Well, I have advice for you if you are coming down here, and that is, of course, public transportation. The CTA is running longer trains on the blue, red, brown, green, and orange lines. Metro service also offering extra trains. That all starts around 9:30 this morning. And Metro has that $10 unlimited festival pass for all 3 days. What a great deal. And again, Metro service is on 8 of its 11 lines all the way through the weekend. There is bike parking at Michigan and Congress. Divvy Bikes, of course, offering their valet parking right at Lakeshore and Monroe. That's a great tip because you can just hop off the bike, let the valet park it for you, and then start to rock on. If you are driving down here, my top insider tip is to download one of those prepaid parking apps like Spot Hero or ParkWiz. Otherwise, you're going to be paying $30, $35 at the Millennium Park garages, $60 at hotels. You don't want to do that. You can get parking for $10 or $15 if you do your research ahead of time. That is the latest here from Grant Park. I'll be back in just a few with more exciting news from Lollapalooza. Back to you.
Penny saved is a penny earned. Kai, thanks so much. And right now, actress Valerie Harper is resting after being rushed to a hospital in Maine. The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Rhoda star has been battling terminal cancer. And NBC's Joe Fryer has details for us from Los Angeles. Joe, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michelle. Valerie Harper has been performing at a playhouse in Maine before Wednesday night's show. The playhouse says she wasn't feeling well, and that's why she was taken to the hospital. Now, according to the playhouse, Harper is resting comfortably and will remain in the hospital for observation for the time being, although the hospital she was initially taken to says she has been discharged. In 2013, Harper was diagnosed with a rare incurable form of brain cancer. At the time, she was told she might only have 3 to 6 months to live. That was 2.5 years ago. Harper has even competed on Dancing with the Stars. Now, the actress is best known for playing Rhoda in the Mary Tyler Moore Show, but last week she took on a new role in the play Nice Work If You Can Get It, and that is what brought her to Maine in the first place. Her co-star Sally Struthers released a statement saying Valerie is feeling better, adding, "It is an amazing blessing." Michelle.
Very good to hear, Joe. Thank you. And also coming up on Today, Joe will have much more on the details about the legendary actress's latest health scare.
91-year-old former President George H.W. Bush shows he still has a sense of humor. He tweeted this photo of him smiling with a neck brace on, saying, "Who knew jumping out of a plane was safer than getting out of bed?" Bush took a nasty fall earlier this month at his home, fracturing his vertebrae. He successfully skydived several times. A former Navy fighter pilot. Doctors say he will be just fine. Looking good there.
Yes.
President
Big
Bush.
smile.
Coming up next, we'll hear from the Major League player who was caught crying right in the middle of a game.
And just thinking about mosquitoes makes some of us get a little itchy. Exactly. Well, we'll tell you the suburbs where the unwanted pests are actually growing in population.
And still ahead, we now know the victims killed in this plane crash in Milwaukee just wanted to take a special family trip.
And when it comes to mosquitoes, the only question we all ask is, why? If you're heading out the door this morning, brilliant blue skies and sunshine. Temperatures will soar once again into the mid to upper 80s, and that's well above average. Here's Marley.
Beautiful forecast, Andy, but a lot of trouble on your roads. You can see lots of slow traffic and lots of accidents. The Ike remains closed on the outbound trip because of a fatal accident at Laramie. We will check in with Sky 5 coming up, but there are more. The inbound Edens at Wilson has your right lane blocked for a 3-car crash there. We'll take a closer look and have your drive times coming up.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
What a classic. Great movie. Tom Hanks making those words famous in the movie A League of Their Own. But as it turns out, there actually is crying in baseball.
Yeah, as we told you yesterday, Mets player Wilmer Flores was caught on camera choking back tears right in the middle of a game. Now we're hearing from him. Here's NBC's Harry Smith.
Wilmer Flores has been having a tough year. To say he is error-prone is an exercise in restraint. But it's not been all bad.
Near the wall, it's out of here! Wilmer Flores with a grand slam!
At Citi Field, Flores was in tears, emotionally overcome.
This is a business part of the game, Gary, and it can be heartless.
During the game, social media lit up with reports the kid was being traded. Somehow he found out. Was he humiliated or heartbroken?
Everybody in the ballpark thinks he's traded, but him. Because I haven't said anything to him. How would you react?
His manager says he didn't even know.
Somebody came to me and said, Wilmer's crying. So why? Well, he got traded. To who? For what? I didn't know.
And this being a story about the Mets, the required twist is the trade fell through.
I was sad, you know, being a Mets forever, and how all my teammates here, and that's why I got emotional.
Flores, who signed with the Mets when he was just 16, wanted to be a Met for life. Now that he still has his job, he'll have a little time to rethink that. Harry Smith, NBC News, New York.
Sticking around.
That's right. Nothing wrong with a little show of emotion. It is 6:28 for us this morning, and we are following breaking news. The outcry for justice could land a Minnesota dentist in an overseas court for killing a beloved lion.
Also, the latest on the investigation surrounding the missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Where is this stolen puppy? His owner is making a plea for thieves to return his dog.
Live from NBC5, this is NBC5 News Today at 6:30.
Breaking right now at 6:30, a deadly accident on the Eisenhowers causing a major backup this morning. Sky 5 live over the scene.
Also breaking overnight, a Minnesota dentist may be forced to stand trial in Africa for killing Cecil the lion. We're going to have a live report.
And he's an officer and a gentleman. An Illinois cop makes a simple gesture to a distraught woman, and it all goes viral. Good morning to you. I'm Michelle Rutherford in for Zaretta Sambalin.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Stephen Holt. Thanks so much for joining us here at 6:30. First, Andy Palooza starts today. Lollapalooza starts today, but also Andy Palooza with the bus stop forecast. Hey, Andy.
Hi there. Well, this forecast will be music to your ears. And again, if you're heading out the door on this Friday morning, wow, is it a beautiful beginning? But for a few scattered clouds, the sun is shining brightly with blue skies. A nice little westerly breeze once again will send the warmth all the way to the lakefront as we go through the day. So get ready for a repeat of yesterday. It'll be windy. It'll be quite warm. Wear those light summertime clothes. Grab those sunglasses and a little sunscreen, especially if you're going to be out for hours for Lollapalooza. Going to be a beautiful day. Sunny and comfortable for now. We're in the 60s. Just a few puffy clouds this afternoon. Otherwise sunny, windy, and quite warm, but not humid. Once again, we'll climb into the mid to upper 80s, even along the lakefront. Here's Marley.
Thanks, Andy. Some accidents causing some real traffic trouble for you this morning. The first one on northbound 57 right at Halstead, blocking your right lane, but slowing traffic to under 15 miles an hour. The second is on the outbound Ike, and I do want to show you a live picture from Sky 5, where traffic is now getting by on the left shoulder. All lanes do remain blocked after this earlier fatal accident from the 4 o'clock hour, but several vehicles were trapped in the space between the crash and the exit ramp. They are now getting by, but delays all the way back past Sacramento, so you should consider Jackson or Roosevelt as your alternates. Coming up, Kai and I will have a closer look at the Lollapalooza closures and how to get there. Stephen and Michelle.
All right, Marley, thanks so much.
Let's get to a major developing story this morning at 6:32. A piece of plane debris found on an island in the Indian Ocean may be brought to France tomorrow for a full investigation.
The wing component may have come from Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, the Boeing jet that mysteriously disappeared last year. And NBC's Tom Costello is live in Washington, D.C. for us this morning. Tom, we have been waiting a long time for this kind of clue.
Yeah, good morning, guys. I got to tell you, all the sources that I've been talking to over the last few days are very confident that this is, in fact, a flapper-on. It's a wing flap component from a Boeing 777. And as we've said, there's only one missing 777 anywhere in the world. That's MH370. So tomorrow, this piece will go to France. It'll go to Toulouse, France, where the French NTSB, if you will, they have a very sophisticated lab there. And they will begin the process of trying to evaluate whatever they can, glean any clues off of this flapper-on that they can. For example, any signs at all that this might have been a high-speed impact with the water or a low-speed impact with the water. Any evidence whatsoever of maybe of scorch marks or fire marks or explosive residue. But probably more importantly, they're going to be looking at the barnacles on this piece of flapper-on. Is there any suggestion that marine life that might be specific to a particular part of the Indian Ocean is on this flapper-on? That would allow them then to back-channel, to backtrack that piece of debris and maybe figure out where the rest of MH370 is. But, guys, I got to tell you, the Australians again today said they're very confident that the bulk of the wreckage is off their coast and that this piece of wreckage simply got caught in the counterclockwise motion of the currents in the Indian Ocean. Back to you guys.
Literally putting the pieces together. All right, Tom, thanks so much for being with us this morning. And also coming up on today, Tom will take a deeper look into the mystery of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370.
It is 6:34. We now know a father and his daughter were the victims of a fiery plane crash in Milwaukee. The TBM 850 crashed on Wednesday at Timmerman Airport and quickly burst into flames. Boston investment executive Joseph Trusty and his 18-year-old daughter, Anna, were killed in the crash. They were flying in from Boston to visit Marquette University.
Well, the search continues this morning for a man who stole a puppy on the L. The thief took this black and white dog from its owner at knife point. This happened Wednesday on the Orange Line. James Johnson, the dog's owner, chased them off at 35th and Archer, but was not able to get his dog back.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want my dog back. It's a cockazoo, full-blooded cockazoo. She ain't number 5 weeks old. She need her mama.
Another rider offered $100 to buy the dog back on another Orange Line train, but the dog napper refused. He wanted $500 for the animal. Investigators are looking to see whether surveillance cameras on the train recorded the crime.
New this morning, former Governor Rod Blagojevich will ask the full 7th U.S. Circuit Court to rule on his appeal. The decision comes after a 3-judge panel agreed to throw out 5 of his 18 convictions last week. One of Blagojevich's lawyers said he will file the request by Tuesday's deadline. The former governor is currently serving a 14-year sentence on corruption charges.
A spike in mosquitoes in McHenry County has some cities ramping up efforts to stop the biting nuisances. The Northwest Herald reports that Crystal Lake will spray overnight tonight into Saturday to help manage the mosquito population. Despite the rain and the large amount of mosquitoes, McHenry County Department of Health officials have not found any mosquitoes that carry West Nile virus. Some good news there.
Nasty little critters. Mosquitoes.
As I mentioned earlier, the one question we all ask, why?
Why?
What is their purpose?
What are they here for?
Yeah.
They have to feed something. Does something feed on them?
Bats.
Oh, well, yeah. We have so many of them.
That's why.
More than you think.
Bring in the bats.
Well, we're all batty about this weather, aren't we?
Ah, nice.
6:36 on this Friday morning, and again, as I mentioned, the forecast really music to our ears, and especially if you're a big fan of Lollapalooza, and hundreds of thousands are. The lakefront forecast looks beautiful over the next couple of days. We do have a risk at least of some rain, but not a washout by any means. In fact, it'll be mostly sunny, windy, and quite warm today. Temperatures along the lakefront will make it into the upper 80s. That breeze will make it feel good. The relative humidity will be low, so it'll be delightful both this afternoon and this evening. Tomorrow, again, still a mostly sunny day and still quite warm in the mid to upper 80s. A risk for a few showers and storms, but looks like it'll be after the event, coming in overnight and probably into early early Sunday, and probably till lunchtime. There'll be a few showers and storms around, but I think we'll dry out in the afternoon and still a warm day. Temperatures will be in the mid to upper 80s, and even Monday and Tuesday will still feature a chance for a few showers and storms, but some cooler but refreshing air on the way for us. It looks like Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Marley?
All right, Andy, we've got building traffic across the board. You can see some of these slow times here and a few accidents causing trouble. The inbound 57 right at Halstead, your right lane blocked there. Traffic coming into this crash under 15 miles an hour. But our bigger issue this morning is still looking at the outbound Ike. So I do want to head up to Mike Lorber, who's in Sky 5, taking a look at exactly what's going on right now. Mike?
The investigation continues here to this fatal accident that happened during the 4 o'clock hour. One person killed, unfortunately, and 5 seriously injured outbound Ike before Cicero. All shut down again. They had the left shoulder open for a while, but as these investigations proceed, you'll see the lanes intermittently open and close. The outbound Ike at a standstill from Western to Cicero. Inbound Gapers now from the Tri-State all the way through Cicero Avenue. I can tell you Roosevelt's pretty busy as an alternate route. You may want to go that way. Maybe think about Madison or Jackson instead as your alternate routes this morning.
Thanks so much, Mike. Your drive time's looking okay on other roads, though. The Eden, 16 minutes headed in from Lake Cook to the junction, 15 on that flip trip. The Kennedy starting to build. You're about 25 minutes both ways between O'Hare and the airport, mostly heavy around the junction. On the Ike, you're 48 minutes inbound. That outbound trip remains closed, so disregard that time. Use Jackson or Madison as your alternate there. Inbound Stevenson, 32 minutes if you're headed in from the Tri-State to Lakeshore Drive. As we head on to the Dan Ryan, just 17 minutes in from 95th. That crash at 47th Street has cleared. The outbound is even easier at 14 minutes. And then as we look at 57 and the Ford, that 34 minutes because of that crash at Halstead on inbound 57, but just an easy 14 on the Ford. Now, we've been talking about Lollapalooza closures on Columbus, Jackson, Balboa, and Congress. So I do want to say good morning to the other half of the traffic twosome this morning, where Kai's going to let you know exactly how to get around it all this morning. Kai?
That's right, Marley. You mentioned those closures through the park. Most Chicagoans are familiar with those. But what I also want to remind you is that on southbound Lakeshore Drive itself, as you head south from Monroe down to Roosevelt, the right lane, the curb lane, is partially blocked by the riot fences to keep people from crashing Lollapalooza. You basically have one fewer lane on Lakeshore Drive as well. So what a mess. My recommendation for you is, of course, public transit. Even if you're not coming to the festival, you want to take that extra service from Metra and CTA. Consider Divvy or walking, and if you have to drive in the area, State Street. That is the furthest east you want to get downtown. I'm live at Lollapalooza. Kai Martin, NBC 5 News.
All right, Kai, thanks so much.
Chicago is the third largest city in the country, but it looks like Houston is hot on her tail.
A new study from the Kinder Institute for Urban Research at Rice University finds Houston could surpass Chicago by the year 2030. Now, the study is basing that off of census data that shows that Chicago only added 8,200 people in 2014 compared to Houston's 36,000. Plus, the study says Houston has a lot more land to grow on. Chicago's pretty full.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
That's right.
Including the hair.
Yes, especially the hair and the food, burgers. All right, a popular women's magazine is facing criticism that it's just another porn magazine. How some stores are planning to keep the magazine out of sight.
A standoff with a cobra. How a very brave person captured his scary snake.
And an angry father hits the gas pedal to chase down a group of teenagers. Why he said he did it. New this morning, the popular women's magazine Cosmopolitan will have to cover up when being sold at some pharmacies and grocery stores. The National Center on Sexual Exploitation calls the magazine covers pornographic because it exposes underage children to inappropriate content. The group says Rite Aid and the owner of Hannaford stores and Food Lion will now place binders on the covers.
A security firm makes shocking claims about how easy it is to hack an Android phone. Researchers at Zimperium say a vulnerable part of Android software called stage fright allows the device to be taken over through a particular text message. That can let hackers remotely take control and steal any information on the phone. Google says it sent out a software update to fix that problem.
And just one quick correction here to that Chicago-Houston story. 82 people moved to Chicago in the year 2014. But
their population only went up by 82.
Right. Wow. But I bet a lot of people in town for this weekend.
That's right. Lollapalooza kicks off in a few hours. We're live at Grant Park.
That's right. And an act of kindness from a suburban police officer goes viral. The story about this walk coming up.
A beautiful day is ahead. Live picture of the Trump Tower and a little bug crawling up the camera. And the novelist will tell us whether this beautiful weather will last all weekend. Coming up.
All right, 6:46. You know, I like that term, Andy Palooza.
Andy Palooza.
You have just been rocking and rolling all week long.
Chief of rock and roll.
Okay, I'll take my reward in ice cream, if you don't mind.
Go.
Today will be a great day.
Handle that.
Thank you. Today a great day once again to come to Lollapalooza, come to the beaches, enjoy the city, or just hang out in your neighborhood because it's going to be a beautiful day from start to finish. And look at the visibility this morning. It's terrific. The air is very dry. The skies are clear. Oh, there's a couple of scattered clouds, but nothing of any consequence. And really, we've had clear skies during the overnight hours, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of sunshine of the forecast for us once again today. And I have been tracking a little cluster of showers and storms you see here, but fading away, and I think that they will. There might be a sprinkle or two far north and west before they do, but these clouds will dissipate. Really, overall, lots of sunshine in your forecast today. And while the wind is calm now, we're in the single digits, we'll get that brisk west to northwest wind to develop once again today. But really, overall, mostly sunny skies, just a few scattered clouds will be in the area today. Humidity remains dry, and temperatures will climb into the mid to upper 80s, and that west wind will push the warmth all the way to the lakefront. Clear tonight. Tomorrow we'll start with sunshine. See a little more cloud cover building in the afternoon hours, but there's a weak little disturbance that will approach in the evening hours, but I think we're still dry. But overnight Saturday, I think into Sunday morning, we're likely to see showers and a few storms in the area. Not widespread heavy rain expected. Then I think we dry out through a good portion of the day and a risk for another shower or storm late in the afternoon or evening hours, but I think the body of the weekend for Sunday will be dry as well. Temperatures this morning are very comfortable, scattered throughout the lower 60s in our cooler spots. Inland warming to 73 here in the city, and we're going up from here. And again, I think the models are too cool. I think we'll end up in the mid to upper 80s. A spot or two could still hit 90 today. So add 5 or 6 degrees to these current temperatures you see here. We'll trend cooler, but still very nice. This evening we'll be averaging right around 80 degrees, then eventually dropping into the 70s. By tomorrow morning, again, we'll be very comfortable. Some spots well inland could be in the upper 50s. Most of us will be in the 60s. Again, low 70s in the city. And even tomorrow, I think the models are way too cool. I think we'll easily be in the mid to upper 80s once again, even up to the lakefront. So as you look at the extended forecast, yep, I think overall the weekend will be dry with some very nice weather. And next week trends cooler but comfortable as we drop into the 70s once again, but lots of sunshine then as well, Marley.
Thanks, Andy. As we drive inbound on 57, that accident has cleared at Halstead, but you can see these delays. You're slowing traffic down to about 30 miles an hour as you come into this, so look out for added congestion here as you travel northbound on 57. Our other major hotspot this morning is on the outbound Ike, and I do want to check in with Mike Lorber to see how that scene is looking. Mike?
Marley, we're over 2 hours now into this tragic accident that took the life of one person and seriously injured 5 more here, shutting down the outbound Eisenhower before Cicero Avenue. Now you can see traffic is squeezing by in the left shoulder as the investigation continues. There are outbound delays now from Damon all the way out to Cicero, but now we're showing you those inbound gapers, and they're all the way back from the Tri-State Tollway, solid into Cicero Avenue. Roosevelt very busy as an alternate route, so maybe Cermak to to the south, Madison or Jackson or Lake Street, all better alternates this morning. Marley?
Thanks so much for keeping us posted, Mike. Now, as for your drive times, a bit of a crapshoot this morning. The Eden still looks good at just 15 minutes both ways. The Kennedy building, pretty typically, you're 24 minutes in from the airport, 28 on that reverse trip. Taking a look at the Ike, we're going to zero out that outbound time because it is blocked. The inbound up to 52 minutes because of those Gaper delays. The Stevenson, 36 minutes in from the Tri-State. That outbound a half hour and a good alternate for you for the Ike because of this closure. On the Ryan, 17 minutes up from 95th, 14 on your reverse trip, and 57 up to 24 minutes because of that earlier crash at Halstead. But the Ford is an easy 14. Stefan and Michelle.
All right, Marley, thanks so much. Well, it is that time of year again. Today is the day. Dozens of acts, thousands of fans coming together at Grant Park for Lollapalooza.
NBC5's Kai Martin, big fan of Lollapalooza, and she's already claimed her spot. Joining us live from Grant Park with more on today's kickoff. Hey, Kai.
Hey, Stefan and Michelle, 130 bands on 8 stages and 300,000 people over the next 3 days flooding Chicago's Loop and Grant Park to see this music festival. Let's talk to one of the organizers. Brooke Leal is with Lollapalooza Promotions. And Brooke, you have some tips for parents who are worried maybe about the cell service in and out of the park and texting their loved ones. What did you do this year to improve that?
We've increased bandwidth, so we should have a little bit better connectivity this year, which is an exciting new feature. But we also encourage kids to make sure that they're staying with their friends. We've got cell phone charging stations throughout the park, so keeping everybody in touch with one another will be a little bit better this year.
All right, well, we're going to put something on the screen that's our top tips just for kids and parents to make sure they can stay safe. And one of them is to go cashless and use the wristbands. This is the second year you're doing that. Did it get a great response?
We get an awesome response to our cashless program and are excited to bring it back. You can head to lollapalooza.com and register your wristband and connect it to a credit card so that you don't have to bring cash to the park and you can still buy food at Chowtown, drinks.
It's all there. Awesome. Okay, and now not all of us can go to Lollapalooza. It is sold out. I love that you're streaming everything, including McCartney tonight, Metallica tomorrow. Everything's online.
Yeah, if you head to lollapalooza.com, we've got the full schedule of who's going to be performing on our live stream, so you can tune in from the couch.
Now, you know what? That's kind of like my kind of festival, unless you want to be with thousands of your closest friends. All right, well, that is the latest here from Grant Park. And just stay tuned for the midday news, Stefan and Michelle. I'm still going to be out here, and I'm going to have all sorts of stuff for you and information. So I'm going to plug myself, and I'm going to send it back to you.
Sounds good, Kai. We'll see you at 11. Thanks so much. It is 6:52. We are continuing to follow breaking news this morning. Zimbabwe's wildlife minister says he wants a Minnesota dentist to stand trial there in that country for killing a beloved lion. Meanwhile, Dr. Walter Palmer remains in hiding this morning. NBC's Kevin Tibbles is live in Minneapolis with the very latest on this story. Kevin.
Hey, Stefan. Well, indeed, the wildlife minister from Zimbabwe has now said he would like the United States to extradite Dr. Walter Palmer to face charges with regards to the killing of this lion. Obviously, the Minnesota dentist has admitted to killing Cecil the lion, but the circumstances remain rather murky. His guide has already been charged with poaching. Now, here stateside, wildlife officials, federal wildlife officials, have said that they have been trying to contact him, and in spite of the fact Dr. Palmer has said that he is willing to cooperate, he has not gotten a hold of the federal officials that are trying to speak to him at this time. Stefan.
NBC's Kevin Tibbles, thank you so much. We will have much more coming up this morning on Today. Kevin Tibbles will have more on the backlash of the killing of Cecil the lion. That's at 7 a.m. right after us here on NBC5.
A 2-foot-long aggressive cobra was spotted over the weekend in a luxury Houston apartment building. Authorities are not sure how the albino monocled cobra made it into the building or who it belonged to. The species can be deadly. Police were able to capture the snake, and it had to be euthanized. Well, it's a touching end to an officer's response to a missing persons call.
And now it's gone viral. Take a look at this video. It happened in suburban Bloomingdale. Officer Mike Giovenco was on his lunch break when he got the call that a special needs patient was missing from a nearby health facility. He spotted the woman who said she wanted to walk and wouldn't go back.
Well, the officer eventually gained her trust and walked with her. When they crossed a busy street, he took her hand and she never let go. More than 54,000 people have now seen this very sweet video. It's posted on the department's Facebook page.
Just wanted to go for a walk.
Yeah, it's above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Perfect strolling partner
yes.
right there. The big change coming to many stores in Chicago starting tomorrow.
See the racist rant that beachgoers witnessed at one of Chicago's most popular beaches.
And a father drives on the sidewalk trying to chase down his daughter's classmates. We'll tell you his reason coming up. And now 5 to know as you're walking out the door today.
Or of course you haven't graduated and you don't know the Constitution of the United States and what it says.
Disturbing video going viral of a woman going on a racist rant against a black family at Oak Street Beach on Monday. The kids accidentally splashed the woman, sparking her tirade.
And a Rockford dad has been charged with aggravated assault for what he did when he found out his daughter was being bullied. Cell phone video shows him chasing teens with his car on the sidewalk near a school. No one was hurt.
The search resumes for a missing woman and her 2-year-old nephew in Northwest Indiana. Diamond Bynum and King Walker last seen 5 days ago in Gary. Diamond has special needs and does not have her medication.
Chicago's partial ban on plastic bags starts tomorrow. Right now, the ban impacts big stores and will expand to smaller chains next year. Small independent businesses are exempt.
Lollapalooza. Finally, it's here. Here's a live picture of Grant Park, one of tonight's big headliners, Paul McCartney, Sir Paul McCartney. The music starts this morning with the gates opening at 11. The first band started at 11:30 a.m.
And it looks good out there. Really
Beautiful
bright
day.
and sunny. Yeah.
All those bands are on the run.
Band on the run, yeah.
That's right. You know, the forecast of music to our ears, even though there's a threat for a little rain on and off between now and the end of the weekend, the body of the weekend is going to be beautiful.
All right.
That's good.
Good to hear.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, the latest breaking news, check out the NBC Chicago app. You can download it on your smartphone, or you can join us right back here for the NBC 5 News at 11 a.m. We're just going to leave you with this. Nice shot of the sunrise.
Happy Friday.